All right, so get this. We're diving into AI today. Specifically, Deepseek versus Qwen 2.5 Max. It's like choosing between, a market clairvoyant or a blog writing speed demon. Which superpower would you rather have?
Yeah, it's a fascinating comparison, because we're looking at two very distinct AI philosophies. One that's completely obsessed with data and the other with language.
Okay, so DeepSeek, this is the one that crunches numbers like nobody's business, right? And it's not just about, handling these massive data sets. It's about pulling out the insights that humans would probably miss and using those to predict what's coming next.
Exactly. Think about the implications for something like, say, the stock market. DeepSeek could potentially sift through mountains of financial data, spot these subtle patterns that we might not even see, and help predict market swings with an accuracy that we've never seen before.
Whoa, okay, that's a lot to process. What about Qwen 2.5 Max? That's more of a wordsmith, yeah.
Think of Qwen 2.5 Max as like the ultimate language model. It doesn't just understand words, it understands context, nuance, even humor. It can generate different writing styles, adapt to different languages.
So like it could write you a sonnet in Spanish.
Potentially, yes, but think bigger. Imagine a marketing team using Qwen 2.5 Max to create hyper-personalized ad copy. That resonates with individual customers on an emotional level. That's the power of sophisticated language processing.
Hold on, I'm picturing a world where nobody has writer's block ever again. But let's get practical here. If I'm facing a real-world problem, how do I know which one of these AI tools is the right one for the job?
It really boils down to this. Are you dealing with mountains of data that need analysis and prediction? Or are you working with language writing, translating, communicating?
So DeepSeek is like the Sherlock Holmes of data, finding clues in the chaos. And Qwen 2.5 Max is like Shakespeare crafting these compelling narratives and conversations.
That's a great analogy. And just like, choosing between Sherlock and Shakespeare for a specific task, picking the right AI tool really depends on the strengths of each platform.
All right, so let's dive into those strengths. What makes DeepSeek such a powerhouse when it comes to data?
What's remarkable about DeepSeek is its ability to handle both structured and unstructured data. So think spreadsheets, databases, but also text documents, social media posts, even audio files. It can process it all, find connections, and extract meaningful insights.
That's incredible. It's like it can understand anything we throw at it. But isn't there a risk of information overload? How do we even begin to make sense of all that data?
That's where DeepSeek's customizability comes in. It's not a one-size-fits-all solution. You can tailor it to your specific industry, your specific needs. So in healthcare, for example, DeepSeek could be trained on a massive data set of patient records and medical literature.
So we're not just talking about, crunching numbers here. We're talking about potentially identifying patterns in diseases, maybe even predicting outbreaks before they happen.
Absolutely. The potential applications in healthcare are staggering. In the source material, there's mention of DeepSeek helping to diagnose diseases much faster and with greater accuracy by analyzing medical images and patient history. That could be revolutionary.
Okay, that's mind-blowing, but I'm also curious about Qwen 2.5 Max and its linguistic prowess. What sets it apart from, say, a really good translator or a grammar checking tool?
It's the depths of understanding. Qwen 2.5 Max doesn't just translate words. It captures the nuances of language, idiom, slang, cultural references. It can adapt its tone and style to match different audiences.
So it's not just about spitting out grammatically correct sentences. It's about understanding the intent and the emotions behind the words.
Exactly, and that's what makes it so powerful for things like content creation. Imagine being able to generate a blog post, a marketing email, even a script for a video, all in a matter of minutes, all tailored to a specific audience and purpose.
Wait, so you're telling me I could ditch my content calendar and just let Qwen 2.5 Max handle it all? Tempting. But are there any limitations to what it can do? I mean, can it really write about anything?
Are limits, of course. While Qwen 2.5 Max is incredibly versatile, it can struggle with highly technical or niche topics where it hasn't been trained on enough data. It's not going to replace a subject matter expert anytime soon.
Right. It's a tool, not a magic wand. But even with those limitations, the possibilities are pretty exciting. It's like having a team of writers at your disposal ready to tackle any project.
And the applications go far beyond just writing. Qwen 2.5 Max can also be used for things like translation code generation, even chatbot development. It's really pushing the boundaries of what's possible with language-based AI.
Okay, so we've talked about the strength, but let's be real. Every superhero has a kryptonite. What are some of the weaknesses of these platforms?
With DeepSeek, the biggest hurdle is probably the learning curve. It's a powerful tool, but it requires a certain level of technical expertise to really harness its full potential. It's not something you just pick up and use without any prior knowledge of data science or machine learning.
So it's not exactly plug and play.
Right. You need to understand the data you're working with, the algorithms you're using, and how to interpret the results. It's a sophisticated tool for sophisticated users.
Makes sense. And what about Qwen 2.5 Max? Any potential pitfalls there?
One thing to keep in mind is that while Qwen 2.5 Max is great at generating human-like text, it doesn't actually think or feel like a human. It can sometimes produce output that sounds plausible but is factually incorrect, or lacks common sense.
So we still need humans to fact check and make sure it's not spouting nonsense. No robot overlords just yet, thankfully.
Exactly. It's important to remember that AI is a tool to augment human capabilities, not to replace human judgment.
That's a good point to keep in mind as we venture further into this AI-powered future. Speaking of the future, let's shift gears a bit and talk about the potential impact these platforms could have on the world as we know it. Deepseek, with its ability to analyze massive amounts of data. What kind of game changer could that be?
The possibilities are almost endless. In healthcare, we've already touched on the potential for faster, more accurate diagnoses. But imagine Deepseek being used to analyze global health trends, predict disease outbreaks, and even personalize treatment plans based on individual genetic profiles.
Okay, we're talking about potentially saving millions of lives here. That's huge. What about other industries? Where else could Deepseek make a real difference?
Think about finance. Deepseek could revolutionize risk assessment, fraud detection, and investment strategies. It could help companies make smarter, more informed decisions based on real-time data analysis.
So it's not just about making money. It's about managing risk, making the financial system more stable, more transparent.
Exactly. And in fields like climate science, Deepseek could be used to analyze environmental data, model climate change scenarios, and develop more effective strategies for sustainability.
Wow, we're talking about a world where AI is helping us solve some of humanity's biggest challenges. It's pretty inspiring, actually.
It is, and it's not just about Deepseek. Qwen 2.5 Max, with its mastery of language, could also have a profound impact on how we communicate, how we learn, and how we connect with each other.
I'm thinking about education, for example. Could Qwen 2.5 Max be used to create personalized learning experiences, tailoring educational content to each student's individual needs and learning style?
Absolutely. It could also revolutionize language learning, making it easier and more engaging for people to connect across cultures.
And what about the arts and entertainment? Could we see Qwen 2.5 Max composing music, writing screenplays, even creating entire virtual worlds?
Yeah, it's not out of the realm of possibility. The line between human creativity and AI-generated content, it's becoming increasingly blurred. It's a fascinating and somewhat unsettling time to be an artist.
It really makes you wonder, what the role of human creativity will be in a world where AI can seemingly do it all, but maybe it's not about replacing human creativity, but rather augmenting it, collaborating with AI to push the boundaries of what's possible.
That's a great point. Imagine a musician working with Qwen 2.5 Max to compose a symphony, or a writer collaborating with it to craft a novel. It could lead to entirely new forms of art and expression.
Okay, my mind is officially blown. So we've got Deepseek, the data master, revolutionizing industries, solving global problems. And we've got Qwen 2.5 Max, the language virtuoso, transforming how we communicate, how we learn, how we create. It's a lot to take in, but it's also incredibly exciting.
It is. We're standing at the precipice of a new era, an era where AI is no longer just a futuristic concept, but a powerful force shaping our world in profound ways.
So let's bring it back down to earth for a second. For the listener out there who's hearing all of this for the first time, what's the one key takeaway they should walk away with?
I think the most important thing to understand is that AI is not just a technology, it's a tool. And like any tool, it can be used for good or for ill. It's up to us as humans to guide its development and ensure that it's used responsibly and ethically to benefit all of humanity.
That's a powerful message. It's not about fearing the rise of the machines, but rather embracing the potential of AI to make the world a better place.
Exactly. The future is not predetermined. It's something we create together.
And speaking of creating the future, the source material mentioned that Qwen 2.5 Max could eventually become as easy to use as our smartphones. Imagine that for a second, AI, accessible to everyone, seamlessly integrated into our daily lives. What would you do with that kind of power in your pocket?
It's a tantalizing thought. The possibilities are truly limitless. But ultimately, the most important question is not what AI can do for us, but what we as humans choose to do with AI.
That's a perfect note to end on. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of Deepseek and Qwen 2.5 Max. We hope you found it as fascinating and thought-provoking as we did. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep imagining the possibilities.